What's going on, all you Star Wars enthusiasts? Your two favorite Wookiees are back once again. We're here to talk about the all-new Disney Plus original series that we've been anxiously awaiting. We're talking about the return of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Otherwise known as Trainspotting 3, directed by Danny Boyle.
Starring Uncle Spud and Uncle Begbie. So that's right. We are back with Obi-Wan Kenobi, the original series. We're getting 6 episodes. It's Ewan McGregor's return to the role that, he made famous with the prequel trilogy, episodes 1, 2, and 3. It all started out with The Phantom Menace and ended with Revenge of the Sith. And this series takes place 10 years after the events of the Revenge of the Sith at the end there, when they had the big battle where him and Anakin had the big battle, and Anakin ended up cut up and seemingly burned alive. And, Obi-Wan figured he was dead, but alas, he's still out there. And it's going to pull Ben out of semi-retirement. He's living off the land, trying to, keep quiet. He doesn't want to be a Jedi anymore. But he's soon drawn back from a familiar face from this galaxy, played by Jimmy Smits. I'm talking about Bail Organa. It seems that little Leia has gone missing.
A young actress, the 10-year-old, she's probably about 10 years old. It was really great. And these episodes, and seeing a young Luke is pretty interesting. Much like Leia was much like Carrie Fisher and Natalie Portman. I thought the young actress really portrayed that character in a young iteration of this character. I thought it was really great.
I agree. They needed to find somebody to go and be, basically Obi-Wan's partner throughout the first couple episodes anyway. And they had to find a strong actress. It's a huge character. Princess Leia, obviously, so they needed to find a child actor that could portray the innocence and sort of the promise and, what Leia is eventually going to turn into, being, Princess Leia as we all know her. So it's a tough task to ask a kid to do this, and she did a great job. And how fun is it for Ewan McGregor to go back into this role? One of the main stars of the prequel trilogy was Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's hard to fill the shoes of the original trilogies, Obi-Wan Kenobi, but nobody could do it better than Ewan McGregor. He was perfect casting, and he's back in this, a character that everybody loves. And he's going to have to go out of retirement, grab the lightsaber again, and go find Princess Leia. And it takes us to some interesting places. And early on in the episode, we also find out who the villains are this season, being the Grand Inquisitor, played by Rupert Friend, and the third sister, who are both, kind of vying to go after all the Jedis and destroy all the Jedis. And they hear that Obi-Wan's still alive, so they make it their mission to go find Obi-Wan.
Yeah, this has to do with Order 66, getting rid of all Jedis. Any fans of Jedi Fallen Order can really follow along with Obi-Wan, because it's taking place in the same kind of timeline with a lot of familiar faces and characters from that video game, which we both were loving. Because me and this guy watched it together while I was here at my house. So we both were nerding out during these first 2 episodes because we love Jedi Fallen Order and really appreciated what they did that with the third sister, Inquisitor, and all the other characters that show up along the way.
For sure. This is great. Going back to this universe, the production on this show is just phenomenal. It's right on pace with The Mandalorian, basically everything that we've seen so far. Now that the Star Wars universe is mainly on TV, they do a great job, with everything. Everything looks just like it did in the original films. Tatooine, it's not an over reliance on CGI either. We get some great practical, creatures, and all the makeup and everything is spot on. It's perfect, really. I love the adventure aspect. The first episode, is kind of establishing, who the bads are, how Obi-Wan's going to have to come out of retirement. But the second episode was really, for me, the big highlight and, my favorite episode so far. But it upped the action and, took them out on an adventure in this place that reminded me a lot of Blade Runner, that town there with all the neon lights and everything. And you had Leia kind of running around. There's some mischief there, her being a kid, and she gets separated, and Obi-Wan has to pull out the lightsaber once again, and it's awesome to see him in action.
I'm not a Jedi anymore. I'm working 9 to 5 in Tatooine. I'm a hard worker. Jedis are gone. Order 66. I'm in hiding. People are out to get me. Then he gets back into it. This is all taking place before New Hope Part 4. So it's kind of funny thinking about this. Ewan McGregor now, and then New Hope, he's much older.
Yeah. He must have
But
had a hard decade after this to go to
must have been
that.
drinking that blue milk, with some
Yeah.
liquor in it or something. Yeah, but this show really works for me. The first 2 episodes I really loved. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Obviously, I like the Marvel shows, but I always really enjoy the Star Wars shows more than Marvel. I think there's just better character arcs. The stories are better. I have Favreau, Filoni, other people involved with some of these shows. Revisiting these characters, love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, getting Hayden Christensen returning as Vader. We got a short little glimpse of a heavily scarred Vader towards the end, just setting up to see the character that we all know and love returning. And I just read that James Earl Jones will be voicing Vader sometime in this season. Just read about that today, so I'm very excited.
He's like 91 years old too.
I couldn't believe he was still alive. That's amazing. Yeah. So gonna have him returning to do the famous voice of Vader. So looking forward to that. But it really set it up nicely. A lot of characters, storyline that we're familiar with from the video game, Order 66, introducing some bad guys. Rupert Friend did a really great job in this role as the villain. Love the practical effects and makeup work. A lot of alien and creatures showing up along the way, Tatooine. It's still in the Star Wars universe. We're familiar with these places and characters, but a fresh spin on it, and really excited for the rest of the season to hit Disney Plus, so we can come back and review the whole season.
It's really awesome that they're filling in the blanks, from the prequel trilogy, up into A New Hope. We don't really know too much about, where Obi-Wan was during this time and what happened. So to finally see that in this form is awesome. It's not just going to be a little 2-hour movie where you get all that. It's going to be stretched out over some episodes and maybe multiple seasons even. So that's what's great about these series. They have a long time to, really give these characters the dedication that they deserve. And I can't wait to see all the familiar faces that we're going to see in these 6 episodes and beyond. Is Liam Neeson going to come back as Qui-Gon? I have a feeling he is. He's hinted at it. But he hasn't flat out said that he's going to be doing it. They're kind of keeping a hush hush. Who else are we going to see too? We're also going to see some new faces. We saw Kumail Nanjiani, the eternal Silicon Valley, that comedian, show up in episode 2. We also saw old Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers as, one of the kidnappers of Leia. So that was pretty cool to see him there too. And then we also saw Benny Safdie as, a Jedi being hunted there in the first episode. So we get in these nice little cameos and Easter eggs, but nothing feels out of place. It's not like, hey, let's throw in, like they did in Game of Thrones with Ed Sheeran, throw him in an episode. And it's just like totally out of place. All their casting and everything feels natural. And I really had a great time with these 2 episodes. It didn't take long for this show to establish itself. The Mandalorian took a few episodes before you're, fully invested. This just feels like after the first episode you're in. The stakes are high and they're not going to waste time. It's not going to waste any time. So that's exciting. And I will be tuning in for sure to the rest of Obi-Wan.
This premiered the first 2 episodes on May 27th when this guy was over. Had a great time checking this out. We watched the Star Wars Celebration, checking out the interviews with Hayden Christensen and Ewan and everybody involved in the show, just hyping it up and finally getting around to watching it. Had an absolute blast with it. Had a great time with this. Super excited to see where this goes. Star Wars, shows on Disney Plus are always top notch, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Maybe some battles of Vader and Obi-Wan again. So really looking forward to this. Really well done across the board. Loved all the acting, the returning characters, a lot of familiar characters showing up along the way, a lot of cameos. Star Wars is universally loved, so everybody, actors, actresses, producers, directors, everybody wants to be attached to Star Wars in some way, and it really shows each show they put out. But with that being said, I had a great time with the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan on Disney Plus, so I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Ewan McGregor hair pieces.
Damn, you're good. We have, as they say, similar minds think alike, even with our ratings and everything. I've been pondering this all day, and I was like, yeah, I just have a feeling Logan's going to pick the same damn score as me. And he sure did. We loved it just as much. So I had a great time with these 2 episodes. They wasted no time going into it. Like you mentioned, all the casting, the way everything looked, the creatures, the practical effects, the pacing, really, it gets exciting right from the get-go. It introduces you to these characters that we haven't seen in several years, but we're so familiar with. Ewan McGregor stepped right back into the role with ease. he owns this role just as much as Alec Guinness did in the original trilogy. So I can't wait to see where it goes from here. It's an exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. We're getting these shows every 6 months, and with more shows and movies on the horizon, with the Mandalorian coming back. Let's see what happens over these episodes. I can't wait. With that being said, I am going to give Obi-Wan Kenobi a 4.5 out of 5 Uncle Owen hair pieces.
So we're interested in hearing from you, Wild Jedis. What did you like about the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi? What didn't you like? What's your favorite Star Wars show on Disney Plus? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild boys on our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews. And of course, right here on our YouTube channel.
That's right. So these wild boys are getting prepared to watch the 3rd episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, actually. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. I'm excited for this whole run of episodes. I wish it was longer, but we will take what we can anyway, my friend. It was great going into a galaxy far, far away with you again, my friend. I'm glad we got to watch these 2 together in person in Cinephellas Studios over this past weekend. Had a great time. And we hope you guys enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi as much as we did. So we are signing out from Tatooine. I'm Uncle Henry.
I'm Uncle Logan. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Cheers.